What's up? This is your host Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow. And before I begin, I just want to let you know I did a video yesterday on Passenger NFTs, a storytelling gamified project from Redeploy Studio. I share my view there, and there is actually one whitelist I'm giving away. So if you haven't checked that video out, definitely go check it out and learn how you can win the whitelist, right? So anyways, guys, I do want to share one big thing today with you, and I do think this thread is a very great. This tweet is a great way to start today. So according to Diamonds, Crypto Diamonds, many came to this space with a dream of a decentralized future. Instead, we're stuck in a nightmare where we get scammed by SBF, tracked by Metamask, and geo-blocked by Yuga Labs. This is not what I signed up for, and all of the above should kindly F off back to Web 2. So this is what we're beginning today, and for those of you who do not know, MetaMask updated the private policy. So they, Consensus, the company that owns MetaMask, just updated its privacy policy and say that they are collecting your IP address and your ETH address when you send a transaction, okay? So they just updated this. This is the news today, and the community is quite divided over this because a lot of people came to Web3 for decentralization, privacy, anonymity. But it seems like I always tell people, if you wanna be, if you value your privacy, if you don't want to other people to know what you're doing, then you shouldn't be doing it on a blockchain. You shouldn't be using blockchain technology because everything is transparent. And personally, for me, I think that's the beauty of it, right? But so what happened is that in theory, the infrastructure will collect your IP address and your Ethereum wallet address when you send a transaction. So basically what it means is that they will know, they can associate the person sending that Ethereum and that Ethereum address, okay? They can identify your IP address. So a IP address kind of changes, right? It really depends on when you connect to that Wi-Fi or that LAN cable, that your IP address fluctuates. But there's one thing that that's never changed, and that is always harder to change, which is called the MAC address that is tied onto your network card, okay? But still, IP address can pretty much sum up, narrow down who that person is, and usually IP address is being tracked on websites like YouTube or other social media websites, or even just in websites in general, so that they know where that person is from, or which geographical location they're from, and possibly if there's some sort of integration, they could know your demographics, your age, your gender, and etc. So I think one of the reasons why they're tracking it is because of this. But definitely, if they're tracking your wallet as well, it raises up the idea of privacy, and some people did not sign up for this, right? So according to Crypto Snooper, the first way is that you can stay with MetaMask. If you want to stay with MetaMask, you can change your RPC provider. For example, Alchemy. So you can decide, actually this is not 100% tracking you, right? You could decide whether you want to use another infrastructure in the blockchain, right? Because the MetaMask is kind of like a interface. But the underlying thing that is tracking you is the connection to that blockchain. So all you have to do is just change your RPC provider, and so that it will no longer track you. Or another way to do it, what I've read, is that you can actually run your own node, which a lot of people would not do. So I would suggest you to check out Alchemy and how to use the Alchemy endpoints to MetaMask, right? The other one is to change wallet. So it seems like if you do not want MetaMask to track you, you do not want your wallet to track you, then you can change your wallet. And restore your wallet first before you uninstall MetaMask, and ensure you can successfully migrate to a wallet. So remember that passphrase, remember that seed phrase. You can actually use that seed phrase to migrate to another new wallet provider, which is the infrastructure, right? Because the blockchain never changed. Your seed phrase just to identify who you are and to give you the control to move things on the blockchain, right? It is not stored within that MetaMask wallet, right? It is access to the blockchain to see what you own. So you can actually change your wallet as well. So that's pretty much it. This is some advice, but as things develop, people will start thinking about this, and then there will be more stories behind it. So the market's holding up pretty strong, to be honest. If you look at this, if you look at Asia market, kind of green besides Shanghai, and I think this is related to the COVID lockdowns and stuff like that. Europe green in general. The US market is actually, today is Thanksgiving holidays, so happy Thanksgiving to the US. But I do think that the crypto market was actually doing quite well, right? It went up and then it just sustained, right? So what happened, right? So the FOMC meeting came out yesterday. So the Federal Reserve official expect to switch to smaller interest rate increases soon, according to minutes from the November meeting. So basically it means that they are pivoting to a more dovish approach. They're gonna raise less the interest rate hike less aggressively, right? Some officials express concern over the impact rate increase could have on financial stability and the economy, and markets have largely expected the Feds to dial down. So the uncertainty the market has been settled, right? It means that the Feds is saying that, hey, we're raising interest rates so fast, we need to slow down. So market is kind of bullish on this news, and therefore it was able to sustain, right? But I think in general, markets are slowing down. But definitely do not lose focus of the goal. Do not think that, oh, market sustaining, it wouldn't dump. There's always a risk of dumping because just crypto in general is very shaky right now with the FBF and FTX thing, right? But in general, market is kind of positive. 1.18% increase in global crypto market cap, which is now 832. Bitcoin 16,515. Ethereum 1,192, closing back to the 1,200 mark. You look at stablecoins took a dump and then go back up. Basically means that people were buying crypto, but now since they're making some money, they are moving back to stables, right? And this is kind of supported by Nansen. Nansen, the top trading token is USDT, followed by Stake, Ethereum, and then Matic, right? And a hash flow. Okay, smart money is doing this, right? So moving on to crypto news. If you look at crypto news, we kind of covered the Metamask issue. Binance eyed $1 billion for crypto recovery fund that could buy FTX asset. Avenger directors to bring FTX miniseries to Amazon. So people are already doing the movie about FTX miniseries. Okay. Singapore police hold on up for possible cheating and fraud. Okay. So this is the crypto news in general. Let us move to NFT. So Valhalla minted yesterday. I kind of mentioned that it will be interesting to see. It seems like after the mint, best offer is 0.53. The floor price is 0.574 right now. So the creator fee is 5%. So the mint price was 0.5. It didn't go up as high as people expected. It didn't go up to. It did go up early on to 1 ETH, but then it kind of went back down. So I do think that this basically tells us that, okay, you look at the listing, right? We'll see how it goes. Give it some time to run, but it shows that the market is at a de-risk environment right now. If they can make a profit, of course they'll go. But right now, deep dive over there, right? So if you actually deduct the gas fee, if you deduct the royalties, it's not a lot of profit. But all I can say is that market is in a very risk-off environment, especially with high-price mint. And I do also want to say that, consumers are not stupid. Minters are not stupid, right? Of course, everyone is very profit-driven in the sense that if there's profit to make, they will sell, right? Regardless of how bullish your trader video is, regardless of, how much potential you can have. Especially when it comes to a high mint price project, because the risk the money put down is actually high, like the risk is higher, right? They have more to lose than they have more to gain. So I'll say that, right? So yeah, it's interesting. Every mint is a new case study. It's always interesting, but it's always interesting to see the creativity of teams building trader videos, the application meta, and using these different type of mints, and how things turns out, right? So moving on, the Netherlands is the world's most metaverse ready country. So there's a study that says that the Netherlands is the most metaverse ready country. So why is it the most metaverse ready, right? Because if you look at this, internet speed, right? The cost of the internet, right? And also the accessibility for high technology exports, blockchain financial startups, and also the number of people annual Google searches, right? So it's interesting, right? It's interesting to see actually Netherlands has a high score when it comes to the metaverse, right? So moving on, LFG news, they talk about Chimpers. I shared this as well. Chimpers, I think this is very bullish for the project. What happened is that they were able to work with Nicodilian, which is not new. Nicodilian has been in the NFT space and minted the NFT project. So I think they have some sort of connection, but they are now working with them to kind of develop something. So this is under the Paramount ecosystem or the Paramount Studio. So it's good to see how NFT projects, not only is just profile pictures or whatever, there's a potential that if you do well, if you have a case study, you could work with Web2 brands and introduce them into the space, right? So this is what you should be looking at, right? Which type of projects have this? And when you do see things like this, you should encourage that as part of the Web3 community for more collaborations and quality collaborations like this. Of course, we'll see what does it mean, right? What sort of collaboration is this? But if this is a quality long-term partnership, this is good for the space, right? And that's the reason why we have decentralized IP building. People, crowd waste, through selling NFTs, to build an IP and to build something, right? From a centralized entity, from a top-down entity to now to down or a flat layer to build together, right? So I think one of the biggest news that we have to talk about is this, right? Tropical Farmer says spineless berry announcement delivered the day before Thanksgiving that ape staking won't be first party supported in the US. If this is illegal, how the heck can we supposed to earn from other side if the SEC investigation isn't ruled favorably than our IP? So right now there's a lot of FUD when it comes to the BAYC ecosystem. So people were bullish in staking the ape token so that they could generate yield, but it seems like it is now geo-blocked, right? So please note that the ape stake.io will be available to users in most countries. However, users in the following countries or region will be geo-blocked: US, Canada, North Korea, Syria, Iran, Cuba, Russia, Crimea, Donetsk, and Luhansk. Okay. So people didn't like it. People were angry. Zeneca had his comment as well. Seeing a lot of people saying that stake is not available apes in the US, but I think it's wrong. We got reading the entire document. It seems that to me, ape stake will not be usable by certain country, but anyone can still stake via the contract another front end, right? So we'll see how this develops. I think the staking has something to do with regulation, especially don't forget that the SEC was for a moment investigating the Yuga Labs ecosystem and talking about how certain tokens or NFTs could classify as securities, right? So I think they want to avoid that. But it's interesting to see all of this being developed and how the community reacts. Sometimes it's very regulatory driven compared to a project driven or risk driven, because when projects get bigger, the flexibility that they have is lower. When they get incorporated, when they get VC funding, they have to go back to play Web2 games, right? So that's it, guys. This is your host, Non-Fungible TC. At least we know that Feds will pivot and the interest rate hike will be less aggressive. And it gives us a breather and something to be thankful for. But always be thankful for, I'm always thankful for Web3, right? Because there's always this interesting thing. There's this whole new thing that we could spend our time with and to learn a lot from other people, from other projects, regardless if it's successful or not, right? So this is your host, Non-Fungible TC. Remember, like and subscribe, you like the content, and there is also a YouTube giveaway that I'm doing here, so definitely check that out. Signing out.